Since the book is based on my life, I had to fight the urge to include each and every story element or vignette that may be cool or interesting by itself, but wasn't really relevant or didn't really fit into the entire story. Things like how starstruck I was when I got to meet Magic Johnson at a Summer League game, or, being classmates with Ice Cube when I was bused to school in the Valley. So I left stuff like that out. But what I'm about to share is one of the goofiest stories ever. And to this day, I still laugh at myself. And I'm sure you'll agree why. So now maybe some of you have ditched school here and there for whatever reason. Who knows? Like, I never really ditched because I wasn't that cool. I had no place to go. Girls weren't interested in me. I didn't sneak off and smoke cigarettes, smoke weed, or drink. But most of all, I was I was afraid of my mother finding out if I ever did something like that. And I really didn't want to get punched in the chest again or get one of those stinging slaps in my face. So I just totally refrained from that. Except for kind of sort of one day, I got a little deviant hair up my ass. And so, all right, so let me go into the story. So back in the 9th grade at Audubon, which is near the Crenshaw area, some of the guys I was pretty chummy with were all talking about early that morning, leaving school at lunch and then going to hang out at one of the guys' house and then go to the USC Village. So let me explain what that is for people who don't live in LA. At the time, and we're talking like 1984, USC Village was like an outdoor shopping area / hangout for college students and younger people with stores, food joints, all near, I think, or like at the actual campus at USC. And I think they may have student housing there too, but whatever. So my family never went anywhere. We didn't have that kind of money, no vacations, no day trips. So the idea of going to this college atmosphere just sounded great to me. And I was hyped to get out and do something different. And you would think we were like going to the Louvre in France or going to like a bullfighting match or something like that. But it was just a big thing to me, right? So lunchtime comes, we eat our food real quick, and then we hop the fence and we caught a bus, I think the King bus or whatever. And so we're off. And there was about 5 of us. We stopped by the other guy's house for a bit because his mother was at work, and, we hung out. And then at some point, I don't know, maybe a half hour later, we were off to USC Village. So we get to the Village and we're being typical young teenage boys, marveling at how grown everybody look and, looking at the football players from USC and like, damn, look at that. We're looking at all these voluptuous, beautiful women, just ogling them because we're young ass boys who ain't experienced shit. And so we ended up in was like a student store. And by this time, there's a big crowd in there. We're walking around, checking stuff out that none of us have money for. And then somebody whispers like, yo, man, I'm gonna snag some shit before I leave. And the other 3 were like, all right, bet. I'm with that. I'm gonna get some shit too. And I'm thinking like, nah, let's not do that. Please don't. But I didn't want to seem like some fun killing nerd. So I just kept quiet and went along with it like a dummy. So now the 5 of us are scoping out the store for something to steal. And I'm just going along with it. And I'm nervous as shit. Like, theft never was and still is not one of my things. So like one by one, my little school friends start grabbing stuff and stuffing it in their jacket pockets and stuffing it in their pants and, and then one of our friends whispers like, okay, everybody got something? Like, y'all cool? Yeah, we cool. A couple answered. But everybody had something except for this guy. Like, I didn't take nothing. I was just scared, man, and inexperienced. And so now I'm seeing them all head for the exit, trying to look cool and inconspicuous. And I started to panic because I didn't have nothing. And I didn't want to be the one guy in the group that failed in grabbing something like, I don't know, like that one pirate returning from a village raid who's all empty-handed while the other pirates got jewels and gems and gold coins spilling out of their pockets. So my amateur thief ass was nervously looking around for something and looking for staff and checking around, and we're almost out the door, and I see something on the shelf and I just grab it and I stuffed it in my pocket. I'm like, okay, good, I got something. Yeah. And we get outside the store, and maybe about a minute after we got outside, we started hearing sirens, and we all freaked the fuck out. We're like, oh shit, somebody called the police. So we all broke in a full sprint. We're weaving through crowds of people. We get out of the village, and we kept running on the surface streets, right? And then somebody yelled, split up, man, split up. We stay together. They're going to catch us. We're going to get caught. So we kind of split up while we're running through the street, and we're weaving through cars, and somehow we ended up back together. Like a dumb school of fish that scatter after a shark attack, and they end up back together. It was just stupid and weird. So we get away from the surface streets, which I think was like Exposition or Jefferson or something, somewhere around there. And now we end up on some side street further away from public view. So we're still breathing hard and we're sweating. We're still a little bit nervous because, we stole some shit. So now we're walking, we're trying to play it cool, play it off a little bit. We're looking over our shoulders in case the police are coming or anything, right? After about 10 minutes of walking, we all figure like, oh, okay, things are cool now. All right, so let's check out what everybody got. One guy stole like a Marcus Allen or like a O.J. Simpson number football jersey, which was real nice. Another had some USC basketball shorts. Another guy had like some gold keychains and some other shit. And, and people are all checking out what everybody has. And they're like congratulating each other like, oh shit, that's sweet. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. I see you. They're all like happy. They're happy with all the shit that they stole. And then they notice that I'm quiet by this time, and they ask like, okay, so what you got? So I dug deep in my pockets and I pulled out a bottle of liquid paper, or what's called whiteout, if you remember that. And there was this long pause where they didn't say anything, and they're like, okay, what else you got? And one of my friends said, what, you got homework to do? You got to wipe some shit out? Why you get that? And then they're like, wait, that's all you got? And I was just like embarrassed. And I just like shrugged it off, and they just kind of like laughed at me like, you fucking rookie, that's all you got, whatever. So we all split up. I caught the bus home, and a little later in the afternoon, I see that my mother is watching the news. And what did I see? There's this breaking news. It's all over the news. There's this story that Michael Jackson was rehearsing for a Pepsi commercial at the Shrine Auditorium, which is pretty close to where the USC Village. So apparently there were pyrotechnics on the stage. And if you ever like Google the story, and I'll put a couple of links in the description here on YouTube. Michael had one of those oily ass jerry curls with probably 600 different chemicals in it, and his hair caught on fire through the pyrotechnics. So they treated him. Well, not treated him. They rushed him to the hospital. So the sirens we were all hearing weren't the police after it was like we thought, but they were actually tending to this ultra mega star of a talent, Michael Jackson. And the sirens, it's like what's goofy about it is like we were reacting like we were Ocean's 11, or like we're pulling off this big heist like the Italian Job. So the next day at school, everybody's comparing those. They bragging about all the stuff they took, and we're all laughing at each other because we thought this whole squad of police cars were after us. And then the jokes started coming. They giving me shit about the whiteout. They're like, oh, where your little brush at? Let's go wipe some shit out, you dummy, or whatever. And I don't know. It wasn't a shining moment. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the end That was the last day I ever ditched from school. And that was the last day I ever did any petty theft.